The fallout from the leaked audio still hung in the air like smoke after an explosion. Washington wasn't just buzzing, it was burning. Networks replayed the clip on loop. Headlines screamed betrayal. Hashtags like hashtag Ivanka betrayed and hashtag Trump exposed trended worldwide. And while Donald Trump raged against fake leaks and deep state traps, the words were already etched into the public memory. She'll take the fall for this. She always does. Those words weren't going away. Not tonight. Not ever. Ivanka Trump had stood on that stage frozen, humiliated before millions, stripped of her carefully built image of loyalty and grace. For years, she had played the role of calm, calculated daughter, supportive, loyal, unshaken. But in that moment, her father's words didn't just bruise her. They cut deep. The cameras captured everything, the flash of betrayal in her eyes, the way her jaw clenched, the way she avoided his gaze as the crowd roared with chaos. And Jasmine Crockett? She stood on that stage like a warrior who had just watched her enemies turn their blades on each other. But the night wasn't over. Not by a long shot. Behind closed doors, the whispers grew louder. Reporters speculated on Ivanka's silence. Commentators asked whether the Trump dynasty had fractured live on air. And somewhere in the shadows of the city, Jasmine Crockett waited. She knew this wasn't the end. This was the opening act. And Ivanka? She was no longer the polished daughter. She was a woman scorned. Hours later, the meeting happened. Not in front of cameras, not under bright debate lights, but in the back room of a quiet cafe, after midnight. The city was asleep, but the scandal wasn't. It pulsed in every headline, every phone screen, every whispered conversation. Jasmine sat first, her posture sharp, her eyes alive with the fire of victory. She didn't need to gloat. The moment spoke for itself. Ivanka arrived in silence, dressed down, guarded, but her presence was undeniable. This wasn't a surrender. This was a confrontation. The two women stared across the table, a single lamp casting shadows across their faces. For the first time, the battlefield wasn't a stage. It was this room. Jasmine leaned forward, her voice low but steady in the story. She didn't need to say much. The audio had done it for her. Ivanka, though, didn't flinch. She didn't deny. She didn't even defend. She sat in the silence, the weight of her father's words pressing down on her, her mind racing with fury, with strategy, with revenge. And that was when Jasmine made the move no one expected. She didn't taunt. She didn't gloat. She extended an offer. Not friendship, not trust, but alliance. The narrator voice sharpens here. For Ivanka, the offer was poison and power wrapped in the same glass. To align with Jasmine, the very woman who had humiliated her on stage, would be unthinkable. But to turn it down meant standing alone against not just Jasmine, not just the press, but her own father. The weight of betrayal pressed down harder. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, unaware of the midnight meeting, thundered across the airwaves. He called the leak treason. He called his enemies liars. But behind the fury, paranoia festered. Who had leaked the tape? Who had betrayed him from within? His circle, once tight and loyal, suddenly felt like a den of snakes. The tension escalates in the narration. Ivanka sat across from Jasmine, her hands clasped, her jaw tense. She didn't agree. She didn't shake hands. But she didn't walk away either. And Jasmine, oh, Jasmine saw it. She saw the crack in the dynasty. She saw the hunger behind Ivanka's eyes, the fire of a woman betrayed. For 40 minutes, the story weaves the fallout. Ivanka haunted by the recording, Trump lashing out at shadows, Jasmine growing bolder by the hour. The press painted Ivanka as a victim, Trump as a tyrant, Jasmine as the rising voice of accountability. The city pulsed with rumors of betrayal, whispers of secret alliances, speculation of a war not between parties, but within families. By the closing minutes, the narrator lowers the tone, dark and suspenseful. In the shadows of Washington, a daughter weighed her father's legacy against her own survival. A rival offered her a path, drenched in scandal but blazing with possibility. And a nation held its breath, waiting to see if blood would prove thicker than ambition. And as Ivanka rose from that table, her silence louder than words, Jasmine leaned back with a knowing smile. The game had changed. This wasn't Trump versus Crockett anymore. This was Trump versus Trump.